This is Heat Check. Zachariah, where are you? Right in the nick of time.
We were panicking, getting ready. How are we going to start this show, you know? And then our tried and true leader showed up, but we got his butt, and then we got the air. But I like your jacket, Bill. Looking
hell of an
good,
entrance.
looking fresh in the A's gear.
Hell of an entrance.
How we doing tonight, gentlemen?
We are doing well. Not really. I'm extremely sick still. My family's even more sick. You guys can talk about the Kingfish. I made a brief appearance there. I'm happy none of you caught the flu or the plague, whatever you want to call it. And I got out just in the nick of time. So, yeah, go ahead.
God willing, we were able to survive you. We pretty much shamed you out of the building, and it looked like you didn't want to be there. I think both things probably happened. You looked – I have not seen – I mean, frankly, and we don't want to really have like a health announcement here. You know, we don't want to worry our viewers. We're pretty health conscious people here. We're not trying to spread the plague. We're not trying to spread COVID, all that good jazz, you know?
Right.
Jake Lucas, since COVID has hit at least, but since I can remember, showed up to our watch party looking sicker than I have seen a person in public. I have not seen a human being show their face looking like that in quite some time. And I don't know if I've ever seen it, you know? Looks like Zach spent too much time getting his outfit on, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That looks great.
He does look great.
Green and yellow looks good.
Oh, I'm glad. We didn't coordinate the baseball stuff, but I'm glad it's all, you know.
Oh, we got to talk baseball free agency, baby. How do I sound? How do I look? How we doing, boys?
You look great. You look like a million bucks.
Art, were you just talking about Joey or were you talking about Jake at the watch party?
How could it have been Joey?
Well, you gave a little shade on the text thread about no, not Joey Starkey, the other dude. Or is his name not Joey?
Well, no, of course not. I mean, for so many reasons, that's a flag on you. But then, no, of course not. And I'm talking my boy Jay Lou, who came looking like he was going to die and kill us.
First of all, Art, just before we get started, by the way, welcome on in. This is the Humm Daddies Network. This is the Heat Check program. I am Zachariah. That is Art Yvonne. That is Jacob Lucas. I mean, just to get back to, we did it live from the Kingfish. We had a great amount of people. I'll tell you this. I like Edwin, your former starting pitcher for El Cerrito Baseball, probably more than I like any of my current friends. And I hate that guy lives in Florida. That guy was the real MVP of the whole thing. I mean, I loved a lot of people, but that guy, me and him vibed. Anyways, to get back to Jake. Jake came in, immediately hit the toilet, and had to go diarrhea. And I had to take a piss, Art, and I was like, I don't even want to go in there because Jake went in there. Jake looked at me and said, you shouldn't go in there. Diarrhea everywhere. You know how much stuff was probably trapped in that bathroom? Then when we did our first cast at halftime, I purposely left the seat next to me open, hoping that I would have a blocker. You, first of all, Art, you chose the seat the furthest away from him and made him face towards the window. But then nobody took that seat, so I had no blocker. Thankfully, though, Jake did give it to his family. That's not the thankful part. But nobody else that went to the watch party got infected. Anyways, boys, how are you?
Rumor has it you were sticking your paws in bags of chips too. My God.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I didn't know how serious it was. I slowly started realizing, like, I think I have the flu, and then because it wasn't getting any better.
Time out. We're not letting you get away with that. We're not letting you get away with. I didn't know how serious it was. We had 24 hours of text messages telling us just how serious it was. And then you showed up looking like asinine dog poop. I mean, what are you talking about?
Well, Art, before he continues, tell the people that you were also on death's doorstep.
Yeah.
Wow, I had a rough night, but all it took was some of that. What's that? Dr. Teal's. I sat in I shivered.
I've been shivering ever since then. How the hell did you kick that?
I don't know, but I shivered for 6 hours.
He said he took a bath in Epstein salt. And then what else did you do? There was two other things.
11 hours of sleep.
Oh, 11 hours of sleep and some Tylenol. Yeah.
Blessed. Yeah. God bless you. That's a charmed life.
Jay can't do that when he's taking care of the kids.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't have fixed me. That wouldn't have helped me. I had like a full-on flu. I did not want to live later that night. It was insane. I was like,
by the way, Art,
shivering, horrible.
Art had a very poignant point when he said, if you were going to sit there, well, and maybe it worked out because you didn't get anybody sick, but Art's whole thing was, if you're going to show up and you're going to put us all under risk, you might as well stay for the whole, you left at like third, fourth quarter of the first game?
I did our first show, and then I was out of there. Hey, I wanted to, I'm a big part of that whole thing. I needed to make some kind of appearance. It took a lot out of me to do it. So I want appreciation instead of all this, slander.
Yeah, it was dedication.
Yeah, it's dedication.
Yeah.
Flu game, Jordan flu game vibes.
That's true.
All right, introduce our new feature, and then I will post it to the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a disappointing night for our new feature. We don't have our chat blowing up. The last couple episodes, we've had a lot of people on the chat. Hopefully, you're going to join us tonight. But Jake's going to throw in the link. And if you want to join the call at any point, you click on that link, and we should be able to get you right on in here. So as we are going and as we are talking away, click
what can they do, Art? What's the new feature? What is the bleeping new feature?
I mean, I just explained it. You don't listen on the podcast.
I listened to all of it.
The same thing happened last.
You just said I'm going to put a link.
And people can join our calls. So if they want to hit the lineup, they can call in. And so Jake's going to share that link. If you're on the chat, you click that link, and we'll try to figure it out. If it doesn't work tonight, bear with us. First time we've had the feature, but it should be simple as 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi. You click that link, we'll let you in. Andy, if you're listening to talk Seahawks, we got you. Joseph, if you want to just talk nonsense, jump on in. Anybody out there who's listening, feel free to enjoy it. We will send it out. We got New Jersey here. God bless. God bless. We appreciate you joining. So yeah, Jake, throw that in the chat.
It's there.
It's there. Why my chat's looking weird tonight? I tell you this. Yeah. Anyhow,
the link is posted. If anyone wants to join for a take on one of our topics, go ahead and click the link that at Humm Daddies 510 sent. And we will feature you in the show.
Oh, there you go.
For sure. And I think also, even though Artie completely shat on the idea, because that's what Lennon does, I think we're also, I have a Google number where you can just call, because some people get timid when they're live on radio and maybe they like stumble or stutter and they want to retake what they want to do. So I think we should have a voicemail also where people can chime in, say their name, where they're from, what their take is. They can record it. We can get it, take the audio, and then play it and then react to it. So we're going to try to get some, some interaction with the listeners out there, because without y'all, we're just talking to each other, which we would do anyway, but it's always nicer when there's an audience out there. So before we get into the games, gentlemen, how about any other thoughts about the live show out there? I thought that, we had a nice little crew. I'd say about 15, 20 people. I don't know if we could do it better on the business or the technical end, but your general thoughts.
I want to hear more about it. After I left, it sounds like there was a bunch of people who showed up that I didn't see.
We got it cracking.
Everybody came for the second game, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected. I kind of figured that. I just want to give a shout out to Rag. Says, I forgot the East Coast is under like serious snow right now, a crazy snowstorm. And here it's supposed to be 60, low 60s for the rest of the week. So
hopefully you got your rice, your beans, your powdered milk, your powdered eggs, and you're ready to, eat simple for the next week, Rags.
All the stuff that people bought for Y2K.
But tell us some stories of how the fest went down on Sunday.
Well, we had half the varsity squad when I was a junior in the house. So we had Edwin, our pitcher, we had Joe, the shortstop, myself, Dom. Ben couldn't make it, unfortunately. I thought
Joe McBride showed up.
Oh yeah, Joe McBride.
Yeah, Joe
was
McBride
in the building.
We had a good it was great times, man. He was on the pod. Man, remember, we messed up the recording and the part got cut off.
Speaking of flags,
we got Andy in here live.
Speaking of flags,
he joined right in. He said, "Oh, there he
is." Andy, what's up, big boy? All right, you know what?
Like 5, 10, 7 years. Andy, my man, how are you?
You know what, Art? That's actually a perfect segue. We'll get back to the live show in a little bit if we want. But now that we have Andy, first of all, this is Andy. Andy is Artie's friend from when Artie went to Washington State University to get his PhD. Turn your volume down over there, Andy, because I'm hearing echo, at least on my end. I don't know if that's from him. But anyways, he picked us up from Seattle and drove us back to Pullman. We went to the Apple Cup, which is Washington and Washington State, but he's a big-time Seahawks fan, and I know he's thrilled about the results from the second game. So, Andy, welcome to the program. How you living, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm great. Yeah, I've been wanting to call on the show for a couple of weeks. I had work obligations the last couple of weeks, but yeah.
So I got two questions for you, Andy. One, I know you're a diehard Hoosiers fan. Were you a diehard Hoosiers football fan this year, and did you enjoy?
Am I a diehard Indiana Hoosier fan?
Yeah. Are you
Oh,
not?
I'm
You're
going
Purdue.
Blakey.
You're Purdue. I confused myself. I thought you loved Indiana for a second. I'm tripping. You love Purdue, so I'll shut myself up.
They're close.
Seahawks, though. You wanted to talk Seahawks Super Bowl.
I think you just had to root for the remarkable for. Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
like
Andy.
Purdue, but no, I was happy to see Indiana do what they did. I mean, that's remarkable.
So, Andy, were you going to talk Seahawks? Were you going to let us know your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, first, like a shout out. I know this doesn't do much for Niners fans or Rams fans, but what about the NFC West this season? I mean, look at the NFC West. Is it the greatest division ever in history of the NFL?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd have to.
It's a good division.
I'd have to look that up, but I did point that out on Sunday. They were 3 of the last 4 in the NFC and 2 of the last 2 in the NFC, and then obviously 1 of the last 1 to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I'm sure that's probably been done. I can't think of one off top, but yeah, I mean, the Niners beat the Rams. The Niners beat the Seahawks in Seattle. Everybody beat everybody up. And then the Seahawks ended up having home field advantage. I mean, I think really you could argue the Super Bowl was decided in Santa Clara in week 18 or whatever, when the Seahawks locked up home field advantage.
So, Andy, what's going to happen in the Super Bowl?
That was my anticipation before the year, because I thought, look, yeah. I mean, I thought before the year started that the NFC West was going to beat up on one another, and I didn't think they'd get 3 teams in.
Yeah. Who'd you have to win the division to start?
I thought the Rams were going to win the division. I thought the Niners and the Seahawks were probably fighting for like 12-5, 13-4.
Purdy or Darnold, who you taking for one season?
Oh, I had the Rams. I mean, I think they're a year ahead or year or two ahead of the Seahawks, I think, in their development and things like that. So I thought the Rams were the best team. I mean, and it was that way in the playoffs too. I didn't want to play the Rams, but I knew we were going to have to go through them. And I mean, like I said, it was just.
You're having some technical difficulties over there.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, give us a quick Super Bowl prediction, and we'll call it a day. Who you got?
Give us a score.
Super Bowl prediction?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go 28. 28-17 Hawks.
All right.
Ooh, okay. Cover that means 4.5 smoothly. Thank you for joining us, Andy. We appreciate that. Andy, all the way.
Andy,
still in
the technical difficulties. Call back next week. Everything was awkward and we can't hear each other. It's going back and forth. It's being weird.
Yeah, y'all 3 talking at once. It's hard to hear, but it's been fun.
Right.
It's all good. All right, Andy.
All right, peace.
So, is he actually calling from Washington State?
Andy, are you in Pullman right now?
Yes.
You're having some really weird delay or something. Every time I ask you a question, you don't answer.
All right, guys.
All right, take it easy.
All right, that was a swing and a miss, huh? You got to take hacks.
All right, we got to figure this out, Andy. We'll talk to you next week, and we'll figure this.
Sounds great. Yeah, have a good one, everybody.
See you, Andy. Love you.
Thanks, Andy.
Later.
All right, Art. Good call. And
well, clearly we had some technical difficulties there. He didn't answer one question.
We got to work on that before we just invite it to start the show instantly. So,
yeah.
Anyways, anything else you guys want to say about the live event? I would just say for anybody that's out there listening right now, we had a ball. We had a blasty blast. It was a good time. I would say this to the Kingfish. If you're listening, you guys were great hosts. No big complaints, but you got to have something bigger than a computer monitor as your main TV, and only one TV in a room, in a private room that people, come to see and have it be private. You got to have I think they had probably like a 42 banger. You got to have 65 banger at the minimum. Then you can have those smaller TVs like on the side, but like your main one has got to be bigger than a computer monitor. Other than that, thought it went great. A lot of folks showed up. Avery was there. Everybody wanted to grab the mic. I literally just left the podcast like 3 or 4 times because McBride wanted to get on there. Avery wanted to get on there. I was just like, all right, I'll just chill and watch the game then.
We had Ali come through. I hadn't seen Ali in hella long.
Oh, yeah, Prince Ali.
We had little Pete roll through. We had Terry roll through. He used to live with my cousin. I hadn't seen him in 4 or 5 years. He rolled through. We had Jags fans in the building. We were talking
we were popping
championship next year. We got Chiefs versus Jags. So for all you guys that enjoy watching these 2 garbage teams, next year we're going to have a good AFC championship. Chiefs versus Jags. Book it. You heard it here first.
Okay. All right. Let's just start there. By the way, follow me on X/Twitter at Zach Sports, ZAK Sports, on Instagram at 11ZAK11. Art, tell them that how much you know about sports. You're what on what and what on what.
I am art.knows.sports on Instagram, Art Knows Sports on Instagram, and on Twitter, @artknows_sports.
All right, there you go. And then J. Lou, you just follow Humm Daddies. You're good to go. You'll find them. Local easy. We can explain that one day. But let's get into the actual program. We did the little live event. By the way, you guys really should have came. Those that didn't, you should. It was a good time. But let's go into the first game. Let me start with this. All right, the Patriots. All right, I've got like 19 thoughts on this, so I'm going to try to condense them into just a few. Let me start with this. Art, I'll go to you. Did the weather that Jake was under, giving everybody the swine flu on Sunday, did the weather in those conditions, because early on, what's my guy's name? Statham?
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham. Yeah. Early on, threw a touchdown, 55-yard pass to Mims. This is why I'm hot, when the weather was halfway decent. Now, we talked about this at halftime. Old Brainiac McGee doesn't take the 3 points, which kind of ended up biting him. But before we get into the actual X's and O's, Art, I just want to ask you, as a guy who's disgusted that his Chiefs are moving from Kansas City, Missouri, to actually the state of Kansas, to no longer play in those crazy elements that the Chiefs have been known to be playing in, did the elements make the game more or less enjoyable? Because basically, the Patriots didn't even try to get a first down in the second half. They got the lead and was just like, well, they're not going to score, so as long as we don't turn the ball over, we're not even going to try to score either. So did you like or dislike the elements?
I mean, I'm going to answer your question differently. I want to remind you that nobody scored a point other than those first 7 points, and that the weather wasn't that bad in the first half. It was getting worse towards the end of the first half, but it wasn't terrible the first quarter and a half. These 2 teams aren't very good. I hate to break it to the world. You had 2 bad teams.
But are you just saying that as a score? Are you just saying that as a scoring Chiefs fan?
You got some okay defenses and some awful. I mean, come on, Denver's a joke. With Stidham, Denver was a joke. But anyway, yeah, of course the weather impacted the game. Of course, New England felt like they could just operate the way they operated once they took the lead, which is pretty shocking, frankly, because they just figured it was fine. Up 3, it was over. And Stidham really looked like a deer in the headlights the moment the pressure got on. Like, I haven't seen a guy. I mean, I've seen it. You know, you've seen backups come in, look good, and then what's real comes. But man, what a 180! The guy looked really poised in that first half of the first quarter, and even in some plays in the first half. But then he just looked like a deer in the headlights. The guy took 2 jump shots. This fool took 2 jump shots.
He was doing
Jason
chest
Tatum,
passes.
your boy Jason Tatum.
Yes, he was doing he was doing chest passes. But that's my point, Art. So if the weather was what it was like when he was looking normal in the first half, like, did you like that the weather screwed everything up and made it crazy and not real football? Or do you like that the elements played a factor? Because I think it's pretty split, 50-50. Some people love that bleep. I'm not a huge fan of it because at some point it didn't become football anymore. It became a punting contest.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that basically I think it's bad when a game gets like that, but I don't think that would happen to many teams. Like, I think that was a unique circumstance. I think the weather was not as bad as some games that I remember by the end.
But the Pats didn't score either. So it was applicable to both teams.
I mean, A, they knew they didn't need to. B, Drake May hasn't been playing well for the past few weeks. So they look lost on offense.
Yeah.
Jake, what did you think?
To Art's point, the Pats are. I saw a stat. They have the third easiest strength of schedule in the history of any team that's made the Super Bowl for the last like 50 years. So that
it's been a joke.
Yeah. There's all these funny memes about every team they've played. Their coach has been fired, damn near.
They didn't play anybody.
They've played the worst quarterbacks in the league except for Josh Allen. I mean, it's been a cakewalk. Not to say, they have who they have in front of them and they're winning games. So you can't take that away from them. And if I'm a Pats fan, which I kind of used to be on the Moss, Brady, even before that Bledsoe era, then, you take what you can get. But to your point about the weather, Randy Moss had one of the dopest games I've ever seen on the Pats in like a crazy snowstorm. Dude caught 4 touchdowns, I believe, in one of those games. And it was just a gorgeous thing to see. It hits well on TV. The aesthetics are great. And sometimes you can have a real football game in those kind of conditions.
Yeah, I guess it depends on, and again, we don't know specifically because I've seen players ball out, wide receivers and quarterbacks in the snow also. But like, was this crazy wind-wise? Was this crazy in terms of like, how wet the ball was? I don't know. Because I have seen, like I said, this is what I said about Stafford when I said last year I saw him, even though they lost to Philly, he carved them up in the second half, and it was snowing like crazy. So I've seen skilled players ball too, but this was an absolute joke. Jake, the Patriots could have put the game away on 3rd and 6 or whatever. They didn't even try. They ran like a draw just to get 1 yard just to punt it away because they knew the Broncos weren't going to score. As soon as they had that lead, which is what makes that Peyton not going for the field goal all that more important. As soon as they had that lead, the Patriots, like, no pun intended, punted on offense. They're just like, we don't care. You're not going to score again. We're going to win this game 13-10, which is what happened.
Yeah. I heard the commentators say on the radio, because that's where I did most of my viewing or listening of the game, trying to muster up the strength to get to that show we were doing. And then on the way back, they were saying that Stidham, it's expected for him to come out a little hot and it's impressive, but you can't expect that for the rest of the game. That it's going to catch up to him, that he's had no reps this year. He's going to get tired, and the Pats know that, and they're just playing the long game, waiting for him to kind of crash out.
Yeah, but or the weather caught up with him. I mean, I would like to know how that game would have gone, and I think this is why the Seahawks, and I think that they're not even big enough favorites.
You're forgetting the first half.
Okay, go ahead, Art. Yeah, what about
I'm just saying, you're forgetting the first half.
What about it?
Because you're just forgetting it. The weather wasn't that bad, and you look terrible.
Well, as it got worse, he got worse.
I know.
As the game went on, he got worse.
He led them to well, that's true too. But honestly, you think that grown-ass men that do this for a living, you think that him not being in shape or having the stamina had anything to do with it? I find that hard to believe. He led them on a touchdown drive and then led them on another scoring drive that should have ended in a field goal. And if not, if they had gotten the 4th and 1, could have led them on another touchdown drive. So and then the weather got crap, and then the guy couldn't do anything. He's throwing bigger and bigger. He's throwing backward passes. He looked like an absolute joke when the weather got bad. I put that on the weather, not him getting like fatigued. These are grown ass paid athletes.
The moment got too big for him, man. Right when he started getting pressure.
I think the weather got too big.
And that's why Sean Payton really adds to the poor decision making. You got a backup quarterback in there. You can go up 10-0, and you got bad weather. And now you crush your quarterback's confidence, right? He doesn't get the points. Now he's 7-0. Next mistake is 7-7, I believe. It was just, I don't know.
Art, tell us how much you know about sports.
All you got to do is listen in 7 p.m. Tuesdays. I'm a spit game. And you guys are going to become the most knowledgeable sports fans in North America. So
my favorite line yet.
Join us. Art knows sports.
All right, let's transition into game 2. By the way, big Art, at least Jake, I understood it. Jake was like, look, I did my little halftime show. I'm clearly patient 0. I'm out of here. This guy, Art, stayed for the whole first game and then stayed for most of the second game and then left in was it the 4th quarter or the 3rd quarter with like 6.5 to go when the game was completely in the bounds. Nobody could understand it. Guy said, gotta go now. Like, really? Another 15 or 20 minutes is going to make or break you back home? Anyways.
Yeah, when
the second game.
I'm a man of my word. I said
Sam,
I'd be home. We got shit to do at the house. We got Sunday night. We got kids going to school, baby. We're Humm Daddies. You ain't no Humm Daddy. You're just a Hummer.
I'm a Humm Daddy right here. You see this?
You're a
little
humdinger.
right
You're not a Humm Daddy. You're a humdinger.
I'm a Humm Daddy right here. This little angel Marion right here, I'm a Humm Daddy. Anyways, the second game, Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. Now, granted, he was the second overall pick, third, whatever. Top 5 overall pick from the Jets. Went to the Panthers, went to the Niners, went to the Super Bowl, backed up Purdy in that Super Bowl. They didn't need him, so he didn't play. Then he went to the Vikings, went 14-3. The Vikings said, hey, we're going to roll with this guy, J.J. McCarthy, okay? Kick rocks. Seattle said, hey, Pete Carroll, kick rocks. And you can follow him on the way out, Geno Smith. They signed him to a relatively somewhere in between a rookie deal and a max deal. 3 years, like 100 and something million, some like not crazy Tua money, which Tua doesn't deserve, not crazy Purdy money, which you can make the argument whether or not Purdy deserves that. Somewhere in between that, a reasonable deal. And he goes 14-3, which, by the way, I think is the only time ever a quarterback has gone over, because obviously there wasn't 17 games for the history of the NFL, but over X amount of winning percentage for 2 different teams back-to-back years. Anyways, now he's in the Super Bowl, and he played fantastic. He had played pretty good all throughout the year. He did lead the league in interceptions, but the Rams were kind of his kryptonite. He had thrown, I believe, 6 interceptions in the 2 regular season games, and he threw 0. He threw 3 touchdowns. He is now in the Super Bowl, which is absolutely mind-blowing. But I think it's more about the team, the culture, and all that stuff, whatever. But your thoughts on that game? An absolute amazing game, back and forth. I actually was rooting for the Seahawks and found myself feeling bad for the Rams, especially the guy that muffed the punt.
Yeah, hell of a football game, man. I don't know what to say. It was such a contrast to the first game.
That was the Super Bowl, right, Art? That was the Super Bowl, right?
But yeah, I mean, I would say yes in the sense that that's the 2 best teams, but I'm certainly not counting the Patriots out, man. You play one game, anybody can win that game. And you got Mr. Vrabel on the sideline, leader of men like no other, baby. You're going to go follow that man through a brick wall, right? So I think the Patriots got a chance. But yeah, that game was the opposite, right? You talked about the elements. You talked about a couple of under-equipped, struggling offenses versus a couple offenses that look great. Defenses were flying around, but they couldn't stop them anyway. Yeah, just a totally aesthetically different game, right? I mean, you got the turf, you got the football. What did each quarterback throw for 350? Maybe not quite. Darnold, I don't remember exactly where they ended, but they're throwing the ball all over the field. JSN, 150 yards. Everybody, just everything. So yeah, just a
Puka.
Yeah, I mean, just it's what everybody does love. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter, to your point earlier, Z, just talking about, hot take or take that people don't like, but every game should be like on turf, or every game should be, he was taking it in so far as even on a dome, like let's neutralize it. That's the shift towards more offense that people love. I'll never be that sort of NFL fan in general, but it was super exciting. And the 2 best teams left were certainly playing. I think Seahawks seem like the better team, seem like the younger team that just looks like faster, hungrier, just more just savage, frankly. And I wasn't surprised to see their sort of speed and athleticism sort of win out again. I thought you could see that in the game throughout. One thing I didn't notice while we were all hanging out that I noticed after, because, I'm having all sorts of conversations, enjoying ourselves. I didn't see how controversial that freaking Cooper Kupp catch was. And to me, I mean, that really does carry on the conversation from the week prior. To me, they're really struggling. And the longer we've talked about catches since freaking whoever that dude was in the end zone didn't get his touchdown, and since Des Bryant didn't get his catch in that big game, ever since those days, I mean, I lost $20.
I lost $20 to Greg Papa on that catch.
There you go. We got Dom on the text line. We got Ali on the text line. What's up, y'all? You lost money to Papa on that? You bet with Papa?
On the Dez?
on the Des Bryant catch against Green Bay. I bet $20. They went to replay. I was like, there's no way that's not a catch. They came back and said it wasn't a catch. But anyways, yeah, I'm with you. And I saw that in live time and knew that it was going to be a problem. They've got a full-blown – you didn't even mention the Buffalo Cooks catch. I mean, they've got an issue with that whole catch thing. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It was building off that. We got Adeline on the line. It's not even Dom. It's Adeline. Lila's bestie's on the line, my daughter. So Adeline, enjoy the show.
Nice.
What'd you think, Jake?
I actually thought the Seahawks were going to blow them out, so I was surprised that the Rams came so close to winning that game.
Really? Hang on, Jake. Jake, sorry to interrupt. Why did you think they were going to blow them out?
Just because the Seahawks, the way they manhandled the Niners, I mean, I know the Niners were undermanned and everything, but to my point earlier, their defense is just nasty. It's all these young, athletic, just monsters. They remind me, it's Legion of Boom-esque. And their run game offensively is dope, and Jigba's dope. And I just thought I have nothing but respect for McDonald. The way he has just dominated my Niners is so impressive. I didn't think there'd be that big of a discrepancy between the Niners and the Rams, but I guess the Rams are that much better than the Niners. And that's very depressing. So I was wrong on that, but the Seahawks still won. And I do think on paper they should dominate the Patriots. But I was thinking Vrabel might have a history of kind of humiliating Darnold back in the Tennessee versus Jets days or something worth looking into. And, when he was seeing ghosts. So you can't be sure that Darnold's not going to see ghosts again, is what I'm saying.
But you know what? Darnold was probably seeing ghosts because it's the old chicken and the egg conversation we've been talking about. His coach probably wasn't scheming up nothing. So probably felt like there were ghosts out there. He probably thought there's nowhere to throw, and he's like, what the hell do I do? I drop back, and there's nothing to do. So I'm seeing ghosts out there. I'm just
That's fair.
Next thing
Right, but he freaked out so bad when he was on Minnesota that they didn't even re-sign him after an amazing season. Like, he turned into that version of himself for a couple of games.
But that, I'm telling you, that to me was the epitome of small sample. That's what I talked to Zach, on this pod a couple weeks ago. It just felt like, to me, we only really have one real example of it. When you guys brought up the ghosts, that sort of built on it to me, and I kind of felt that argument. It's like, well, he had two bad performances and talked about seeing ghosts. But if we just talk about that, he played one amazing season and sort of folded down the end. But it's his first season. Overall, he had a really, really good season. So that would be like saying Barry Bonds wasn't good in the postseason after 5 years, right? But baseball, we know how that works. He'd only had 30, 40 at-bats. And if you have a few bad games, all of a sudden your numbers are bad. So, I don't know.
Well, also,
the jury's still out, too.
Well,
he may play horrible in the Super Bowl, and he might fold, next year. Like, we don't know. The jury's out. But I wasn't really bought into the fact that you could assume he's no good or that he'll fold or choke.
A few things. I have said back before the Niners-Seahawks game, I said, Niners, if you want to have hope, 2 words, Seahawks quarterback or Sam Darnold, whatever you want to say. That will always be in the back of my mind because, yes, the ghost comment on that Monday night game against New England, but just in general, just the bad performances. But going back to his time with Minnesota and whether or not Minnesota made a huge mistake rolling with J.J. McCarthy, who, yes, won a national championship with Michigan, but this guy went 14-3. And the reason why they didn't get a first-round bye in the number 1 seed overall is because they lost to a 15-2 team in Detroit. Then they lost first round against the Rams. Now, I get it. Teams like to roll with quarterbacks on a rookie contract. We've seen that ad nauseum, right? Like the Chiefs were able to cook as long as they had Patrick Mahomes for those 5 years when he was on the rookie contract. Gets a little bit more dicey when you got to pay that mother bleeper $60 million a year, right? So I get it. But Darnold would have came under, and honestly, and we texted about this on another thread, me and Art, the worst thing that could have happened to Minnesota was J.J. McCarthy tearing his ACL in the preseason because he was going to start over Darnold. And if he had stayed healthy and he was garbanzo beans and then Darnold went and cooked, then they probably would have made a different decision other than just being like, okay, go ahead, sign with the Seahawks. We're rolling with J.J. McCarthy. Now you can't take that back. But anyways, back to your point about, and look, it's hard to feel bad for Matthew Stafford, okay? He's got a model wife. He's already got a Super Bowl ring. He has crazy statistics. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But in his last 2 losses to Seattle, which, by the way, people need to go back and make a 30 for 30 on the fact that Charbonnet, Zach, my mainstay, my namesake, but he doesn't spell it the right way. He spells it Z-A-C-H. It should be Z-A-K if he was a gangster, who accidentally picked up that 2-point conversion because he thought the play was dead. He was not doing it on purpose. And then they reviewed it as an actual 2-point conversion. Anyways, Stafford's numbers in his last 2 losses to Seattle, 29 of 49 for 457 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. Last Sunday against Seattle, 22 of 35, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. This guy was out here carving against the number 1 defense in the year. 6 touchdowns. Breasts, as I like to call them. You can't say the T word because Joey Starkey will get mad and say we can't get funded if you use the T word. So I'll say breasts. 6 breasts and no picks in his last 2 losses, which were by 1-score games to the Seahawks. That's got to be frustrating as bleep. And by the way, before I'm done with my preamble, Davante Adams 0-5 in conference championship games. You don't feel for that guy, you're out of your mind. That guy couldn't even speak post-game.
Hey, get a few more catches, bud. How about that, Davante?
Oh, no sympathy, huh? No sympathy.
Find a way in the end zone.
Hilarious bitter Raider fan content regarding Davante, man. They're happy that guy lost. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
Why would Raiders fans be anti-Adams? What did he do?
Raiders fans just take down everyone with them when they're depressed constantly and they're mad constantly. I don't blame them. It's been a rough go.
Well, how about Mike McDonald speaking all this into existence? You guys saw that Twitter video about the video that came out of him showing up into the building.
He was a year off.
Yeah, good for him. It's perfect though. He created a vision. He said it. Men saw it and they did it. It's pretty incredible. Couple of leader of men, Alcoma. Couple of leader of men. We got Vrabel, we got McDonald. Leaders. We don't
need a prediction because we're gonna have another show. As you know, there's 2 weeks in between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. So we'll dive into more of that later. Now it's time for Heat Check, a John Lennon, aka Artavan Daveron demand that we do a heat check now. We're trying to keep this all incorporated from ages like 16 to 66, right? So for I think for most ages, you just go with on fire if you're hot on it. Now, if you're medium, this is for the kids, you go mid. And if you're cold, this is more for our generation, you're icy. So we present, as we are heat check, we're going to do a little heat check here. Now, we'll start with this. Pittsburgh, by the way, did you know that Pittsburgh people, how many different parts of the United States have accents? I know there's an Atlanta accent. I know there's a New York accent. We don't have an accent in California.
Yeah, we do. Have you ever been to, say, Fresno or Bakersfield?
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard, Z.
What's our accent?
California doesn't have an accent?
What's our accent?
Well, there's Valley Girls, right?
Your whole life in California, bro. Go live in some other states. They make fun of you for being from California. They laugh about your accent. Of course you have an accent.
But Art, hang on.
They have an accent in New York. We have an accent inherently.
Okay, but what? Okay, I can do a New York accent. I can do a Chicago accent.
You're doing the California accent.
Just me talking right now is a California accent?
No.
Come on.
You're born and raised, baby. California.
No, but there's a funny.
We're talking about SoCal, Jake. You're going SoCal.
There's SoCal accents for sure. There's
that's true.
Orange County and Valley Girl.
Valley Girl.
Yeah.
But there's also the redneck accent, which is everywhere. So certain pockets of California still have that. Hey man, I'm from Bakersfield, California, man.
No, that's the South. No, that's like South Carolina.
No, they talk like that down there too, bro.
The only one I'll get.
Go to El Sobrante. Go to El Sobrante, bro.
I feel like I'm from Texas.
Hey, I'm from El Sobrante, California.
Me and Big X the plug, baby. We from
the
Texas.
The only accent I'll give you in Cali is there is definitely a Valley girl where it's like, oh my God. But I don't even know if that's Southern California specific. But yes, I'll give you that. Other than that, there's not a Bay accent. We don't have accents.
There's
Okay.
a Bay.
All right,
Let's vernacular.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. I bring that
There
up
also
because
is inherently an accent. It's like you guys don't. It's like thinking about not knowing what the word accent means. I can't even define it or say it exactly. But clearly, there's some different ways people stereotype people from California talking.
okay, but let's take me, you, and Jake, Art. Do you think somebody from New York, if I can make fun of you busting balls, you boy, who the bleep are you, huh? If I was to do that you think they can impersonate us, me, you, and Jake?
I think they would go SoCal. I think they'd go SoCal, LA, super surfer vibe.
That's not us, though. That doesn't apply to us.
California.
Okay, all right, fair enough. We'll agree to disagree.
Pretty big.
I only brought this accent rant up because the Pittsburgh Steelers hire McCarthy as their head coach, and he's a Pittsburgh guy, and apparently they have their own accent, which I never knew about. I forget that. I only know it because of Pat McAfee, but it's got a certain name to it or whatever. Here's the crazy part. They have never had a coach, not only not hired at the age that McCarthy got hired, they've never even had a coach employed at the age that McCarthy is hired. Now, as you know, famously, there's been Chuck Noll, there's been Bill Cowher, and there's been our guy that just left. Mike Tomlin. They've only had 3 coaches in the Super Bowl era. They normally hire guys in their 20s and 30s or whatever, and then they're there for 20 years, and then they move on to the next one. McCarthy's in their 60s. Steelers fans are not happy about it. It's been very evident and clear on social media. He teared up in his press conference today. Your thoughts on the hire? If the people listening are not familiar, he had a long stint with the Packers. He's got a great record. He's won 1 Super Bowl. Bad record in conference title games, and then he went to Dallas, made the playoffs a few times, but kind of petered out or whatever. But your thoughts on the hire? I'm not a huge fan, but I understand hiring a Pittsburgh guy in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm either icy or what are we? Mid. I mean, I'm
icy mid on fire.
I'm feeling pretty cold. This is what I'll tell you. If my dad was still alive, he would have had a lot to say about what McCarthy.
Equipment manager or bus driver?
I don't know what it would have been, but when you took a look at that guy,
I think bus driver.
Today, I'm not going to say too many words about it. I'm just going to say, not instilling the most confidence. You looked at that little face.
You
of
didn't
his,
like the
that
press
little
conference?
vibe of his. You just didn't have a great vibe. But if you're looking for 9-7 ball, if you're looking for the continuation of the Tomlin era, yeah, sure, go get McCarthy. Go get an average established head coach that knows NFL football.
Art, that's precisely why the Steelers fans are pissed.
Of course. It's hideous. It's boring. It's not exciting. Yeah, it's icy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm icy. I feel good for him, with him crying. It's his hometown team. Like, good on you, buddy. But he does not inspire confidence, dude. Looking at him, he looks very he's old looking. Looks real heavier than ever. It just doesn't look like a leader of like young dudes coming out of college. I mean, I don't know.
I want to disagree so bad. I want to disagree with the Steelers fans. I want to disagree with you, Art. I want to disagree with you, J. Lou. But I can't, man. I can't. And look, all he talked about, kudos to him. Nobody is more assured that he's going to win a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh than him. He literally gave a shout out to his parents who were in the stands and told the owner that before he signed the contract, that when, he said, not if, when they win trophy number, 7 for them, that he wants the parade to start outside of his parents' house in Pittsburgh. That's how confident this guy is. But I'm with you guys. And so I want to believe in that. I wish that one of you two believed in it, but I don't either, which means all 3 of us are out on McCarthy, and so is everybody in Pittsburgh. That's not good. That's not positive vibes.
Yeah. Ryan Clark should have been hired, according to Stephen X.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
as a head coach?
He said
Yes.
he deserved a call. He said he deserved a call.
Wow. Okay.
ESPN
Anyways,
solid programming.
we can touch on this briefly here, but do you have any thoughts? Because obviously he had a long, like over a decade run with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. They asked him if they want him back in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers, my classmate, by the way, I gave him a tour when I went to
Tour guide.
Inside joke. In 2025, he was 14th in passer rating, 30th in QBR, 25th in expected points added, 33rd in air yards per attempt, 27th in deep ball rate. He said that he wants him back. The owner said specifically he didn't hire McCarthy to get Aaron Rodgers to come back. I would say bring him back, but you got to draft a quarterback. Why did they do that last year? You can have Aaron Rodgers like tutor a guy to come in, but you got to draft a quarterback. They're not going anywhere with him.
I can't believe what you're saying. The worst thing you could possibly imagine if you were the Pittsburgh Steelers is to just go get McCarthy and Rodgers as your duo from 10 years ago. A couple of old fogies past their prime. Neither of them are ready to play. Come on. Football is past McCarthy's brain by, and it's past Rodgers' body by, and now you want him to go
I'm
team
with
up
you,
in
but
your first year in Pittsburgh. It's an embarrassing thought. And if you're doing that and you're in Pittsburgh and you're a fan, you don't watch that season. You don't show up to the stadium. You call it a year. You save some money, and you let them lose some games. You get a first-round pick, and then he's probably fired by next year. He won't even have his job if he does this, man. Come on.
Okay, but Art,
man.
Art,
Aaron
I'm
Rodgers.
with you, but Art, I'm with you. But my question is, what's the alternative at quarterback? What are you going to do? You going to sign Justin Fields?
We talked about.
Trade for Mac
be
Jones.
Better at your job. How about you be better at your job and find somebody who can play? Yeah, if you're good at your job, you can find a quarterback. Yeah, go get Mac.
Yeah, Mac Jones is going to be a hot commodity, I think, for a lot of teams, and the Steelers are probably one of them. But yeah, you got a 66-year-old head coach and a 43-year-old quarterback who won it together 16 years ago. Give me a break.
That's a joke. And you're New Pittsburgh. I mean, that would just kill me.
That's an insult. Like,
Well,
if I'm a Steelers fan.
For a year, look, Pittsburgh ownership made it clear they don't want to do rebuilding. So they're down with this 9-8 and whatever, 10-7, or, they're down with that as long as they're relevant. They have, they host a home game or whatever. I would say, why not bring Rodgers back one last year? He can end his career the way he started his career with McCarthy as his coach, and then draft a quarterback, even if, you're taking a flyer, have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers will probably openly admit, if he even does come back, that this will be his last year. So have him tutor the guy that they then draft and then move to that guy moving forward. But I don't know how that's going to end well. I'm with you. I wanted you guys to be positive with the whole bleep, but you weren't. All right, we move on to this. This was Artie's
retirement too. Maybe they can get Jordy out of retirement too. He could throw Jordy some balls.
Jordy Nelson?
Yeah, Jordy Nelson. Get him out of
Not my son.
Now you're just now you're just trolling. All right, Jake, I'll toss to you because this was Artie's contribution to the show sheet. Have you watched 1 second of the Australian Open?
No.
That wasn't my contribution. That was you twisting.
So you're icy. Icy. Okay.
That wasn't my contribution. You worded it so inflammatory.
I'm actually mid. I'm mid on this.
Let's hear it.
Art unfortunately devil-tongued Venus Williams, who won the first set and then got her brains blown out. That was rough. But I happened to find myself, as I'm dealing with potty training with my puppy Marion over here, named after Sean Marion, a.k.a. The Matrix, one of the greatest sons to ever do it. Found myself up early because this bleep was in Australia, which little known fact about Heat Check, young Artavan Davron lived in Australia. Was it a full calendar year, Art?
Full calendar year, Melbourne, where the Australian Open
played some rugby.
Played some rugby.
Did a lot of drugs, but yeah. Anyways, so I found myself up early and I was watching this guy, and it was an Asian fella, but he was American. His name is Learning. What's his name, Art? Is it Learning?
Who?
The Asian American.
Oh, I don't know him very well. I know he lost to Zverev.
Learner. His name is Learner. His name is
he lost to
Lerner.
Zverev, one of the best men's tennis
Yeah,
players
the
going
German
right now.
who's apparently that guy. I don't like that guy at all. I'm done with that guy.
Set up an epic match for the semifinals. He's got, it's going to be real tough for him to get by Alcaraz. He's the young phenom. Nobody can beat Alcaraz. I'm sure Dragos, if you're listening, you're loving yourself some Alcaraz. So I'm hot on this. We got to be.
I like Alcaraz.
Australian Open.
That's my wife.
Hey guys, don't sleep on Lerner. Now I don't know how he's going to get any bigger. I think he's probably full grown. So he doesn't really have the height and the power, but that guy is skilled, man. That guy hit some shots I was very impressed with. I watched the whole thing until I could tell that the German was just going to dominate on the serve. But anyways, your mom already texted me, your nightmare will play around 7:45 p.m. on ESPN2. I want the Italian to win this game. His name is Mercetti. Enjoy. So there's two Italians before we're going to get to, the Spanish guy who's trying to go down the Nadal route. But anyways, I'm mid. I haven't watched a ton. I'm not going to pretend like I'm on fire when it comes to the Australian Open, but I am mid. I have caught some hours, and I plan to watch at least the last couple of rounds.
There we go. Well, I'm definitely on fire. Maybe not on watching. I watched the Venus. I checked out a little bit.
Love the honesty, Jake. You peeped that honesty? Guy said I'm on fire, not on the watching though.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, I'm saying how many hours do I got to put in? 7 or 8 hours. That's what I got in me. I watched the whole
7 or 8.
Venus
7 or 8. I would say on fire.
Yeah, I watched some late night tennis last night. Accidentally sent an email to somebody I work with at 3 a.m. because I had a weirdly late night last night. Was a little embarrassed when I woke up. I was like, "Ooh, wow. You really didn't realize what you were doing there, bud." But yeah, man, we had some great tennis last night. Coco Gauff, disappointing loss. We got another American in the quarterfinals right now. Shelton going up against number 2 in the world, Sinner. That'll be at midnight tonight. You got Joker, like you said, playing the Italian. I mean, it's all setting it up quite nicely. And on the women's side, we got the women that you would expect to be there. I don't know that side as much, but I do know Sabalenka's the best, and she's still there. And it looks like we got 2 Americans fighting it out in the quarterfinals. So we're going to have at least 1 American in the semifinals on the women's side, and we can see if there's an American that makes it on the men's side. And yeah, it's just been a fun tournament, and I love the Aussie Open because, like you said, spent a year there. I know the vibe around that tournament. It is incredible vibes. I've been to the U.S. Open in New York. That is incredible vibes. You sit, you drink beer, you have good food. They got, if you go to the big matches, if you go early, so for anyone who likes tennis at all, and then I'll shut up, but if you go early, you could watch some of the best tennis players in the world like 10 feet in front of you because they got some of the early matches they're playing on the courts that are on the ground. So when you watch it on TV, they're only showing the main matches, and those are in the big stadiums where it looks like you're just in a stadium. But at the same time, there's 3-4 other matches going on, and you're watching the 10th player in the world, 15th player in the world, who the next year might be the number 2 player in the world. So I've had some good times doing that. So yeah, I'm hot. But the viewers are probably like, shut up, move on. So we'll move on.
No, it's all good. No, that was solid. That was solid. I mean, same shit with like minor league baseball games. You can watch guys that are coming on like rehab assignments and stuff.
Well, that's very different though. We're talking about 15th man in the world. Oh, you're talking about rehab assignments though. Hell yeah. Or like the G League.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like they had full-blown jerseys for Shohei Ohtani because he did like 1 game in Salt Lake City at the AAA affiliate. Anyways, no, I feel you. You should look to take advantage of those opportunities. All right. Last but not least, on the heat check, icy mid or on fire, Giannis Antetokounmpo will finish this year on the Milwaukee Bucks. Jake, are you icy? Are you mid? Or are you on fire that he will?
I'm saying I'm mid. I don't know if he'll play again. It sounds like he has no interest in playing for the Bucks again. His what he said after his calf injury was that he, usually the medical staff will reevaluate in 3 to 4 weeks, and then that'll be another month. It sounds like he has no interest in playing again this year unless he gets traded. So I'm mid. I think it would be wise to move on from him if I'm the Bucks because he's gonna leave. He's gonna demand out anyway. But yeah, I hope it's the Warriors. Let's trade Jimmy Butler for Giannis. Let's do it.
There's something weird going on the trade market. It feels so cold right now that it makes
not
me
much
think,
action.
Yeah, it makes me think I'm going to go hot, and I'm going to say he's not going to. He'll be on the. Your statement was that he will be on the Bucks. Right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to finish the year because it just feels like a weird season, and I don't think they're going to get the offer they want, and I think they're going to just believe that they can get something even better next year, even though as the clock ticks, the return seemingly would be less. But like, how could the return be low? I mean, you've got to be able to get an amazing offer. So if I don't get an amazing offer, I'm not giving up Giannis. Like, I'm playing hard to get, and I'm making sure that I get some of the best players in the world because Giannis still has a whole nother, at least a third of a career to dominate. You know, he's not close to done. He's ready to dominate. If the Warriors get Giannis, that would be the funnest thing oh God, I don't want to. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We're not talking about that. That would be too good.
Well, this is a good way to end heat check because we got a mid, we got an on fire, and I'm full blown icy. There is no way. Look, man, when they did the Dame deal, that was like we're trying to keep you. And when that was such a disaster, and then Dame popped his Achilles, and even the year before that, they went out in the first round. Giannis is about greatness. Now, take this from a guy. The Phoenix Suns have little trivia test for all the people out there. Art, Jake, how many titles do the Phoenix Suns have in their franchise history?
Seems like 0.
That's a good answer. Absolutely 0. None. However, they were in the bubble, I believe 2022. They were up 2-0 against the Bucks. And then you know what happened? DeAndre Ayton got his absolute soul ripped from him, ripped from his body. I believe Giannis literally went into his body, into his chest cavity, by the heart, somewhere around the arteries, wherever it is, found the soul, and then took it right out of him. And then they won 4 straight. The Suns were up 2-0 in the finals. I was 2 games away from driving down to Arizona to go to the parade. Because if it ever happens in Miami or wherever the A's are when they do it, or wherever the Suns are when they do it, I will be driving to that parade. And I will sit there and just bask in the glory. I don't even know what I'm doing there. I'm just going to be a Cali random guy just sitting there like, now I can die in peace. They've made books about that. The Red Sox curse, the Cubs curse. Anyways, I digress. My point is, Giannis is about greatness, and he has made that very clear. He's not just okay. I would be okay with that 1 chip. If Devin Booker had gotten that 1 chip in 2022, I'd be the happiest person on the planet. I'd probably be tattooed in like Phoenix Suns 2022 championship like memorabilia. That would be my fit. Would just be purple and orange. I'd get it redone every year. The point is, Giannis wants way more than 1. He wants to go down as like, Hakeem, Kareem, Shaq. He does not, 1 is not going to do it. And he knows that he's already been put in a bad position being in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee did their best. They tried to get Dame. Maybe that bleep would work. It didn't work. So, and he's saying everything. Jake just mentioned it. He mentioned 1. There's been 7 over the past 2 weeks press conferences where he's calling out coaches, calling out players, calling out everybody. He's making it as blatantly clear as possible that he wants to get traded. Now, where, I don't know, but I'm with you, Art. If Steph's last hurrah was with the Greek, I don't even care who the other 3 players are on the court. The alphabet and Steph, what are you going to do?
So how do we do it? Kuminga and who?
Kuminga, Butler, Draymond, everybody. Everybody.
You give them everything, man.
Do you think that Bucks would want that?
Everybody.
I don't know, but people are saying that you don't do that. The Warriors should. I don't know if you've heard people. You don't make that mistake. You don't do the same thing the Bucks did by getting Dame. It's not the same thing. That's totally underappreciating and under acknowledging who Steph Curry is. You go get Giannis, you're most likely winning 1. You're most probably winning 2 more, and Steph's going down as either the GOAT or Jordan. It's him. It's not even a debate anymore. You go pair up Steph with Giannis, all of a sudden these bozos that don't know how to play basketball are going to look a whole lot better. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. You can get Bozo 1, Bozo 2, and Bozo 3. You can get Pods, Guy Santos, and one of those clowns that came up from Santa Cruz the other night. go put them on the court, and they're going to compete. Now you go actually fill that roster with some talent, and that team is going to go win you a championship. So, yeah, you go get Giannis. You go offer him Draymond. We don't want you anymore. We go give him Kuminga, give him Moody, give him whoever you want. Just bring me back Giannis, and we're taking that championship. Let's go.
I'd give him steak and Chase Center, man. I'd give him whatever, like cash. Like, how much do you want? I'll give you. Lacob's worth so much money. Here's $500 million. Give us Giannis.
Absolutely.
Like, what Warriors fans are saying? Don't trade like people for Giannis. What are you talking about? I trade the whole team.
There's a little weird. They're like, don't give up all your future draft picks. You're going to be in the same.
Oh, come
place
on.
as
Yeah,
all your
they've been
teams.
drafting great. Those are worth so much to the Warriors.
Exactly. Get out of here with that. Give us Giannis.
Well,
Find a way.
I mean, they could point to specifically the Dame Lillard thing where they thought just Dame and Giannis would be able to do it, and they didn't.
Well, Dame's overrated.
Dame's never done it.
He's criminally overrated.
That's true. Well, overrated. Oakland
Criminally
product.
overrated, and I love him. He's not overrated.
Okay.
He's criminally overrated.
All right.
The guy was voted as a top 75 player in the history of the game. What?
All right.
I mean, top 75 in the
He's
history
fun
of
to
the
watch.
game.
He was fun
He's
to
great,
watch.
yeah.
He's not Steph.
I love the
All right.
guy.
Yeah.
He's
Fair
just
enough.
top 75.
All right. Well, there is your heat check. Let's move into this. We just did a lot of Warriors right there. I didn't even mean it to get into that with the Giannis thing. So we can just touch on this briefly before we get into some MLB free agency, which, Jake, I'm hoping you can hold down the fort for us on that in terms of what the Giants have been doing. Is it anything or is it not? But prior to us getting to that, just to kind of put a little bow on the Warriors and just where you're at. I remember Artie, I don't know if you said it here on the podcast, Art, or if you just texted it to the thread, or I don't know what format you said it. You might have just said it to me, but you basically told me if Butler's out for the year, the season's over. I'm pretty much cashed out. Now they split a couple of games in Minnesota. We don't need to get into all the details and the drama surrounding that. It seems like they just kind of punted the second game. You and I actually had a pretty spirited debate on the fact that, like, just because a couple of guys go down, your roster should be good enough to where you don't need to punt that game. But in general, are you guys just like disinterested? Like, is Warriors no longer appointment TV for you?
It's appointment TV for me because I love the NBA and I love the Warriors, but the Warriors are not going to do anything. So yeah, I'll take that word out. It is no longer appointment TV. It's TV though. I watch it. I like it. I enjoy the Warriors, but like, I'm not going to not watch Steph basically because we don't know how much longer we got with him.
That's a good point.
But watching a disheartened Steph is sad. And so you see him get on the bench and talk about seeing ghosts. That's what he looks like he's seeing. He looks like he's seeing ghosts, except he's just more like a nightmare dream just playing in his head. He's like, what is happening? He can't even believe what he's playing with. You look at this team, they put nobody around him now. So, yeah, it's hard to watch, but it's cool, though, because you know that as good as Steph is, he'll find a way to make a five look good. So, like, when Horford and Melton are clicking and they're, like, having a good 20 minutes and they go beat a team, hell yeah, it's fun to watch. And they're going to make the playoffs or play in. And so, yeah. I'm watching that.
Yeah. I don't say it's appointment must-see TV, but, yeah, it's worth watching. I mean, when they get a run going, and they will again, and, you know, they'll look good again, I'm sure. That'll be fun to watch, and I'll want to watch those games down the stretch. And like you said, let's root them on to win a series. That's kind of what you can expect at this point. Appreciate Steph, rack up, like, meet milestones with, you know, his career. He's going up in points leaders. That stuff is fun to watch when you have a great that's giving you 4 championships. So yeah, it's definitely worth watching if you can. And you know, they're competitive. They'll be competitive. And I want to see if they do anything this trade deadline, because doing absolutely nothing, that might lead to a different story where they're not so competitive down the stretch. If that's the message you send to the squad, that, you know, we're good as is, probably not going to be too in it mentally for the rest of the year.
How's Draymond going to feel if the Warriors make the playoffs, you know, lose to somebody in 5 and he's just getting dogged for 5 straight games? Just 4 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, getting whooped up and down the court like he's been. How's he gonna respond? He can pretend it didn't happen? Is he going
You
to
know,
pretend he's
I
just
don't. He
kind of
might.
the same Draymond? He might.
He,
Yeah.
Draymond seems slightly checked out at points himself. So,
Heck yeah.
you know, that would be a big favor to Steph if he just retired.
Wow.
Honestly.
Lord will.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't got much more on the Warriors. I'm just
I don't either.
ready to
I think
ride
we've
it out, see what happens this week. I don't
yeah.
have an opinion on the deadline.
You know, I'm just really jazzed about that Trey Young to the Wizards news. All right,
you
Art,
guys
you're
got
frozen.
me? You got me?
You're good. Art's frozen on my end. Now Art's
okay.
back a little.
All right.
But yeah, we got to wrap it up soon. I got the flu babies and stuff going on.
I got you. All right. Well, then let's just end it with the word, man. Okay. The word is the wacky world of sports. You know what I mean? We go around, we just talk crazy stuff. Now, I have my own stuff on here because I thought a couple of these things were funny. But let's start with what Art contributed, which number one was just AI. No other comments, just AI. So what are we talking about AI, Art?
What are we talking about AI? We're talking about the upsetting news out of Australia, California, Australia, where apparently our man, and he's pretty beloved by you. I certainly absolutely adored watching him play basketball my entire childhood. Have a pretty nice soft spot for Mr. Allen Iverson.
I thought you meant, by the way, I thought you meant artificial intelligence. You were talking about actually Allen Iverson? Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
I brought it up in our text today, pal.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Again, not really focused on us, too much when we're talking, but Allen Iverson went to Australia to have an event with kids who are sick with cancer, and he was supposed to fulfill a very wonderful day, is what the news is saying. And now I'm not gonna pretend I know if this is factual, but it certainly seems factual, is what I'll say. And instead of doing what he came to do in Australia, he did not do what he said he was going to do for these children. He had children with cancer and their parents driving 6 hours to come see him. I don't have it in front of me, but there were supposed to be things like, getting a basketball, maybe hanging out for an hour and a half, just talking. And it was supposed to be this huge event that these children were so excited for. And instead, his security told people multiple times he's having a bad day, not going to happen. And all he did was take a picture with these children. And the irony of telling these folks that he was having a bad day was not lost on me when you came to visit sick children with cancer on another continent. So I don't know what's going on with them, because that seems like a really odd decision to fly that far. And so maybe he is going through something absolutely awful. But it was an odd story, a sad story for me to hear, because I love AI. I love Allen Iverson. And I'm like, damn, you can't do the kids like that, AI. So hopefully you come tell folks why you did the kids like that. Maybe you fell off the wagon. I don't know what happened, but man, that's the AI story.
Yeah, I love AI too. And first of all, it's a shame that now AI brings to mind artificial intelligence. That shift happened semi-recently, I think, in the last year.
Yeah.
And that's just sad, because AI has always been Allen Iverson to me. But yeah, it seems like he's going through something. It's just a bad story all the way around, because I love the guy too. I got his kicks from back in the day, those signature Reeboks. Sick. I love those, love those shoes so much. I love AI's game. I love his heart. I love what he did on the court. And he seemed like a cool dude also off the court. So it's kind of puzzling. But what are you going to do? It's just a sad story for everyone involved.
Well, first of all, and this is why we need to do better show preparation. I will take the L. I will take the flag on this. I should have vetted this better. I thought when Artie put AI, first of all, it was the first thought when all this AI stuff was coming up. I was like, how much more is Allen Iverson going to get Googled now because of AI? That was my first thought. What has it been 2 years since AI has taken over? Anyways, I would have not allowed this to be in the word, because the word is supposed to be about levity, not horrible stuff. This sounds like a horrible story. I will tell you one good thing. Iverson had a lot of drama before coming into the league. I believe he got into a fight in a bowling alley or whatever. A bunch of stuff went on with him. He had fights with his wife or whatever. He purposely did not have a prenuptial with his wife to get remarried to her because of how much he wanted to get back with her. And then he messed up again. And she basically took all his loot. However, here's the good news with Reebok. He signed a deal where they told him, you will not get this $80 million until you are 55 years old or something. So he is now financially 100% good and straight. I know he's had problems with alcohol and demons and whatnot, but this story kind of breaks my heart. You got kids out there in cancer in Australia, and you're talking about how you're having a bad day and you can't make it, and you're just taking a picture. So I wish you hadn't brought that to the word, but let's bring some levity to this whole thing. You guys know how much I love saying pal, and especially in a condescending way. Now, there was a tweet from a reporter in Cleveland talking about head coach Kevin Stefanski, who actually wanted the Dolphins to hire. Of course they didn't. They hired the love child of Beavis and Butthead. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up the Dolphins' new head coach, search the image, and tell me that's not literally if Beavis and Butthead had a child together. That is who it is. That's who we hired. Instead of Kevin Stefanski, who somehow won Coach of the Year twice in bleeping Leaveland, the place that lives and football lives go to die. Anyways, so he sees this tweet. Quote, Falcons Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders closed out last season with 7 starts. Now, Baker sees this and gets on his petty side, quote tweets it and says, quote, failed. It's quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text call from Stefanski after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. First of all, Stefanski didn't tweet that out. A reporter did, but he responded to it like he was talking to Stefanski. And flag on Stefanski if he didn't call Baker when he got traded. But anyways, I just love the pal. Failed is quite the reach, pal. Because remember, Baker took the Browns to the playoffs, which by itself sounds like a oxymoron, but also won the game in Pittsburgh.
Our boy Danny Orsini has a good relationship with you and the word pal. That gets thrown back and forth quite often.
Yeah, pal.
We talked a lot about this when we got to do our show on Friday, so I want to hear Jake's take. I just find it hilarious that he threw his coach under the bus like that, and it made me really just like Baker that much more to give him a good public FU. He's like, hey, let me let the world know, A, I was a winner, and B, you're a BI, and you didn't even hit your boy up after you got rid of me, pal.
Yeah, that's
Baker's
pretty
in the right. Baker's in the right. I like Baker too. I mean, he really fell off this year. Was he playing injured? Is that the news?
He was.
He didn't fall off. I mean, they were talking about Baker MVP.
Well, he was like
week 5.
What I'm saying is he was lights out for the first third of the year or whatever. And then
so Ibuka got hurt, the rookie, and then his season fell off. So it's hard to know if his route running got really affected. He had a hamstring early and was never the same. You had Evans out all year. Godwin was in and out, barely played. And then he injured his shoulder. I can't remember if it was the throwing or the non-throwing. Either way, he injured his shoulder really bad, missed a game or two. And then when he came back, you could tell he wasn't very nimble, not his like hoggish self. And that it made me realize how much, not made me realize, but it's obvious that's his game. His game is sort of being a hog and being willing to get hit and being willing to do whatever. And so I think he was super limited second half.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to roll
for a quarterback. But yeah, go ahead.
Baker?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not even really a huge turnaround. I mean, again, he won a playoff game on the road in Cleveland. And then, I mean, yeah, you're right. He had that random game where he played one game for the Rams, and then he signed with Tampa Bay. But since then, he's just been a baller in Tampa Bay. I mean, he's got a slight frame, which I think adds to the injury-prone stuff, which obviously doesn't make it easy. But anyways, we'll end the word and we'll end the podcast on this. By the way, you never know when Art is going to either hit Jacob or me up. He might hit me up to like go through all of the He's on Fire NBA Jams matchups and who I would take against who, taking 2 duos. We should actually do that since our shit is called Heat Check. But also, he might call J. Lou up for a Warriors roundtable, which they were doing in 1993 when Bimbo Coles was manning the ship. You know what I'm saying? When you little youngsters out there didn't have a Steph Curry, Bimbo Coles was your light-skinned point guard. But let's end on this. 2 wide receivers, which makes white people uncomfortable saying their full names for 2 totally different reasons. So we'll just call them JSN in Seattle, and we'll just call them PN in Los Angeles. But if you had to pick between Puka Nacua and JSN, again, 2 dicey names that way. Which one are you taking? You got Super Bowls tomorrow. You can only have one of the 2. Assume all of the rest of the stuff, because of course it depends on personnel and who you're playing or whatever. Assume all of that is equal. You have to pick between Puka and JSN. Art, who you got? I got mine.
I know who you got. I can tell you. You want me to tell the people for you?
Who
you got?
Yeah.
Puka.
Oh, how'd you know that? You're going JSN.
I just know you love. Yeah, I'm going. I know you love Puka.
Well, I like the beast part of Puka. Yeah.
Yeah. I go JSN, and it's mostly not based on who I necessarily think is better. I don't have an opinion, man. You get to that level of receiver.
Of course.
I don't know how to choose.
Yeah, you're picking this. Well, this is perfect. Jake, you split
But real quick, before you go, Jake, mine is fantasy related. It's because I drafted JSN in the 10th round and keep him in a league in the keeper
We won the championship with Puka and Pitt.
I know, but that was just easy. That was like an easy pick. I was proud of my JSN pick in the 10th round keeper. Now he's out here doing things. I know. I mean, no, that's why it's a hard pick. 2 great receivers, two fantasy.
Jake, split the tie. Split the tie to end the show.
It's a really tough pick. I mean, these guys are both just studs. They're going to be huge in the NFL for years to come. Thanks for staying up through this whole thing, Rags. And Rags says JSN. I'm going Puka.
Puka Nacua.
Puka's a hog, man. He's just a beast.
Still a tie because of the texter.
Yeah, we're still at a tie. That
the
deserves
defense
to be a
can
tie.
know that every target is going to Puka. They're going to find a way to give him the ball like 75% of the time, and he still can carve him up. I mean, it's
I'm with you. I'm with you, Jake. But if you wanted to make the argument for JSN, you know how many hard hits he took on Sunday? I'm talking about like flipped over the top, hit to the neck, hit to the shoulders. JSN took a ton. But yes, I'm with you, Jake. The reason why I go Puka over JSN is because of the beast mode, like just the ability to kind of go Moss more than I would see JSN being able to do that.
I'm hallucinating with a fever and chills also, but didn't JSN make a clean ass one-handed grab?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to just say though, Puka, didn't he just and then we'll wrap this up. Sorry to keep y'all, but didn't Puka just game 1 of his NFL career just like 15 catches, 12 catch? Like he had one of the most insane starts to an NFL career. He went from somebody I hadn't even heard of. Maybe it was a flag on me, but he was just a dude that was filling in for somebody that was injured. Like Cup was hurt week 1 or something. I don't remember the circumstances. My memory is terrible with sports and a lot of things. But all I know is I'm sitting there and I'm watching some dude on the Rams get like 12 catches. And I'm like, oh, that's BS. And then I see a couple guys pick him up in fantasy. And I'm like, what? Now he's got 11. Next week, 13. Next week, who the hell is this guy? And then he had like
I don't even remember that. Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
And then I remember he had like 2 bad games. He had like 2 bad games. I was like, oh, I knew it would end. I knew he couldn't be that good. And then right back to it. Guy's just unbelievable.
Student.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Good times.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. This was Heat Check. Thursday night we'll have Humm Daddies, and Heat Check will be back. You never know, maybe a Friday night live. I'm Jake Lucas. That's Zachariah. That's Art. Catch you guys later. Have a good week.
Peace.